Hello and hello everyone, welcome to class 11 biology. With this video we are going to start a new chapter from your biology textbook, that is chapter number 8, cell, the unit of life. In our previous videos we discussed about chapter number 9, biomolecules. Chapter 9 nge lalap chapter gewa di je lalap go yumse khari na thin sigro. Ti yumse di khare lawo yimba na all living organisms, they are made up of cell. But what is cell made up of? Cell is made up of biomolecules. Kengwe thamche cell gi drup shagyor ene cell khorang khar gi drup shagyor la bimena biomolecules gi drup shagyor ani biomolecules nala rig manda mabu pe yo carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, secondary metabolites, etc. Right? So dige thangma gi ngazo khar drup shagore cell la de drup gor ani cell gi khar drup gore living organisms to gor ani living organisms unicellular ge yor multicellular ge yor. That what do we mean by unicellular, multicellular? Some organisms, they are made of only a single cell. Therefore, they are called as unicellular organisms. And organisms like us, we are made up of billions of cells, trillions of cells, right? So, we are multicellular organisms. Cell, unicellular organism. Multicellular organisms. Unicellular organism yenere multicellular organism yin binary living organism thangma khar gi dup sha yore cell gi dup sha yore sro di zambala the cell is the unit of life se ujung so cell la de ni structure the form che wada ani life ki character show che ko chu gor biomolecules, they are not living things, right? Biomolecules now so carbohydrate, protein dige sama so living la tu mar konju sama ya nyamrup chen ro ani cell la structure form chi ro ani shine ko khar cha du gore living thing cha du gore ti mo song za cell la the unit of life la or se chung so ta ngazu ki video dinal ta ngazu chapter dinal turdi ro shia me khar jangre la we me na thambo ngazu cells ki ko la te ro introduction do chi and dinalo cell theory ko la jangre. Then we will see that the cells are of two types. Cell la na tabung la da pegeton ro cell la rigwanda ni there are two types of cells based upon nucleus yume ga la shishani tabung la rigwanda ni there are two types of cells, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Ani prokaryotics na lo tharik video de na zo khar khar jangyo me de box na te da ro ani eukaryotic na lo na zo ki plant cell da animal cell ki korla jangir mone chane de lo fungal cell ge yor ta ye ro fungal cell tis manda yor plant cell, the animal cell, these Roger. But in our textbook, only plant cells and animal cells are given under eukaryotic cells. Under prokaryotic cells, bacteria kola jangir. Bacteria, they are prokaryotic cells. That is the difference. And then under eukaryotic cells, we have got plant cells and animal cells. And regarding these two cells, we will study about their cell organelles in detail. Cell organelles kola jangirta. The cell, what is a cell? Cell is the fundamental, structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Cell it's a unit of living organisms. Structural functional love in nanglo la lega so chinge dige sama khare cell cha du yo sonza wa ani cell la zo khala wore cell is the fundamental, structural and the functional unit of all living organisms. Ti kiran zinda marim na jang yugir kiran zo ngau to ju yugir tadi wa thenda kharla wore la wi bana manzo gi skeme ji gi subu nanglo la ro ani structural su ya build up chinge phungbu ya build up chinge di khare cell cha du wor functional nanglo lega tam ma mo be chi wora lots of metabolic activities are going on. Right, lots of physiological processes are going on. All those processes, all those functions are carried out with the help of cell. These cells, they are fundamental, structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Anything less than a complete structure of a cell does not ensure independent living. Cell la de dubada biomolecule mangbuji ya nyamrup cheni cell la gi sopta de dubada ani shine ko khala ngazo til khala to wore living thing re la to wore it can have an independent existence, right? For example, unicellular organism, they have got independent existence, right? So living thing the living thing ji chawala unicellular chikro single cell chik living thing chawala o thangbu cell chik structure to anything less than a cell, right? It's not a living. The cell the tangshu su tongre the discover su chela the sambala Anton Von Leeuwenhoek. Anton Von Leeuwenhoek he first saw and described a live cell. 그 통타 미디데 Anton Von Leeuwenhoek 라이스다 또 벤냐 마닝 버로 그래서 로드 세지시다 벤닝 버레 so Anton Von Leeuwenhoek 라디 미디기 그기 he first saw and described a live cell and he used microscope like this one 그 microscope 된데 도시 표시체시 다 그기 강의 history 도 this law 벤바나 냐마 녜기 로조 나로 카르코스 라 벤바나 코라 he was a cloth merchant he was not a scientist per se right he was a cloth merchant cloth merchant in example ko gani regi quality yabu takse che che ko gi microscope do so saro microscope di pheju chen ko gi cell thong do so he gets the credit of first seeing and describing a live cell and di gel ani Robert Brown da mi ji gi khar discover chela bim bana cell nanglo yo gi nucleus la di discover jarta deso azu chela jangta no cell nanglo yo nucleus su discover chela bim bana Robert Brown gi then khali microscopy are get improvement in the microscopy right and with the finding of with the invention of electron microscopes electron microscope la dige da invent chewe ki technology gi are get da ani cell gi nanglo yo gi ta bat khora khare ko gi basic structure jo maro tin nanglo khar yume cell organelles khar yume ige sama ni jela khali da rimbe gi ha khor se chung so. Let us now discuss about cell theory, a theory which is widely accepted among different scientists, right? Cell theory. The cell theory was proposed by Matthias, Schleiden and Theodore Schwann. Cell theory la the proposed the scientists proposed Matthias, Schleiden and Theodore Schwann. So Matthias Schleiden la 1838 in 1838 Matthias Schleiden, who was a German botanist, he said that all plants are composed of different kinds of cells. The Schleiden la midi ko khara do German gi plant ga la khyawander do plant scientist center do so he ko kharla re sishin thamje khar gi dubsha jortla re cells gi dubsha yoreshaslar they are made up of different kinds of cells and just a year later in 1839 Theodore Schwann, a British zoologist, right, he said that right all animals they are made up of cells and the cell products. Theodore Schwann la dikhardo he was a British zoologist la na animal kana study chenge quick khar labre lawimana animals ke ani cell ki product ki dubsha yore shaslar ani kuni ni ki khar propose chela na cell theory la di propose cher cell theory na lo khar lawore lawimana the bodies of plants and animals they are made up of cells and the products of the cells so konju ki hypothesis di konju theory na lo hypothesis di khar lawore lawimana the bodies of all plants and animals they are made up of cells or the products of the cells the Schleiden and Schwann, they together formulated the cell theory. The hypothesis, they accept cell theory char. Now, later on, in 1855, Rudolf Virchow, he said something, Omnis cellula-e cellula. Omnis cellula-e cellula cells, they come from pre-existing cells. Cells sawaji khane chagre, ko top gane ke yung marwa, ko khane chagre na nyen cell yogyo jine ko ma cell sawaji chagdular. And he thereby modified the cell theory. Ta thajinga cell theory jo harla yore Schleiden the Schwann gi kharla re all living organisms they are made up of cell larwa. Rudolf Virchow gi tiga sentence nembe jo dom theory di nanglo la di nanglo dushan nembe khar dom re lawe baina ko khala re all cells arise from pre-existing cells. Right. So if you are asked to write about the cell theory nalo la khari propose chere la women sentence di ni ga tigur ti thangbo di khare Schleiden and Schwann gila yore niwa di su la yore Rudolf Virchow gila yor. Wow. If you write down regarding cell theory you have to write all living organisms are made up of cells and the products of cells, right, and all cells arise from pre-existing cells. So that is about the cell theory. In your lower classes, you must have seen either one of these two, right? Either you have seen onion peel cells, or you might have seen human cheek cells, or maybe both of them. Onion peel cells, human cheek cells, right? Human cheek cells, right? And this is a typical plant cell, and this is a typical animal cell. This is an onion peel cell, and this is human cheek cell, right? They are being stained. Cells, they are usually transparent, right? So we cannot see them under microscope if we don't stain them. Cells Dinye khalaso typical plant cell relaso, dinye typical animal cell relaso. Kuni ni para la kita pet kora keba ngosu desho di khari yore labu imbena. Plant cells they have got a cell wall. Plant cells nalo la cell wall yore. Cell wall gi wall ani cell membrane che. Ani di nalo shine ani cytoplasm da nucleus da denso yor. Cell wall che ro ani nalo wall cell membrane che ani nalo ani cytoplasm da nucleus dige yores. Seo so. Whereas animal cell like human cheek cell we don't have cell wall. Manjo ki cell dige la cell wall yo mare. They just have a cell membrane. Okay. Now if you ta kisi ko la cell wall yonere menere te kisi kirang la cell gi remove tissue la wi mena ro typical diagram of a cell, a rough diagram of a cell ti la wi mena chagen khashi sang war. Ta kisi kirang remove de ro ti wi mena if you represent a typical a eukaryotic cell with this particular diagram it should have certain features khar khar re la wi mena. First of all it should have a cell membrane. Cell membrane la di lengen khare la wi ba na cell gi nanglo gi environment da chilo gi environment ni para la barrier doj form chi or it forms like a border or it forms like a barrier between the internal environment of the cell and the external environment of the cell. Internal environment of the cell dikhare cytoplasm dire chilo dikhare external environment cha or dini ni para la ko khar chi do barrier doj form chi do cell membrane di inji mi ji yo go or shemba ko lo yo maro it does not have any identity if there is no boundary. Right, so cell level atangsho kharugu do cell membrane go. So we will study more about cell membrane later on. And then the wala khariyore the cell membrane kin nanglo la khariyore la we have got a semi fluid like matrix called cytoplasm. Rata di chilola pakpa do di nanglo la khariyore la na ani chut la do jore di khare cytoplasm cha do. Now the cytoplasm is really important because cytoplasm is the place where all the metabolic reaction, most of the metabolic reaction which keeps the cell alive, it happens within the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm nalu chungor. Tangazu metabolic reaction kechumbu res laimba. To cell the symbol hawala koi nanglo la metabolic reaction mangbush to ora. Dim bangche khawa nal dure la vimbena cytoplasm nalu chungor. So cytoplasm nanglo there are cell organelles as well. Cell organelles dige sama khawere mangche cytoplasm nanglo yer. The cytoplasm nanglo yang the structure tokdo chiyor. Tokdo di khare la women it is called as nucleus. It is also membrane covered. Tichilo la cell membrane yo na shichigo jigyan de la khare yore cell membrane yor. Cell membrane. Tanya kirang imagine condition digre gambu jiyo bache. Gambu nanglo la chu yo bache. Ti chu di nanglo yangya gambu jiyo bi imba na. Gambu chunjin chi. Ti gambu nanglo chunju yo yo di khare. Ti nucleus chadur. Ti gambu ki chishun di khar chadur. Koe membrane chadur. So nucleus di yor yo bache. Nucleus di nanglo la khare yore chromosome yor. Inside the nucleus we find chromosomes, right? And chromosomes khare gi dup sha yore la mana proteins ta ani nucleic acids gi dup sha yore DNA gi dup sha yor. And DNA is the genetic material for most of the living organisms. When we studied about nucleic acids, I told you that nucleic acids they are the genetic materials for nucleic acids, especially DNA. They are the genetic materials for most of the organisms. Right? RNA is the genetic material for viruses, and viruses we hardly consider them under living things. Okay. So nucleic acid dina yovache, DNA dina yovache. That dige chagin dige sumsang word the cell chik lawala. Ta ini inji miji nucleus yogu mare. Inji miji gugo mar the nucleus the kajin gugo mare law in bana nucleus yume gala shishani. If you take an overview of the cell, the cell chik nalo nucleus yo the mega shishani, we classify the cells under two broad groups: prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell, the eukaryotic cell, and designi na yavachir. The digi yavachedangi shid kharela so nucleus yume gala, true nucleus yume gala shishani. If a cell does not have a true nucleus la di mewa yimba ina, ani ko kharcha dure, it becomes a prokaryotic cell. If a cell contains a true nucleus, then it is called as a eukaryotic cell. The thanji cell nishto, onion peel cell, human cheek cell ni dikhare, they are eukaryotic cells. Kachin relana, they have got true nucleus. The dark staining region over here, this is a nucleus. The dark staining region over here inside the human cheek cell, that is a nucleus. So they both contain true nucleus. So they are both eukaryotic cells. Whereas prokaryotic cells, they do not have true nucleus. Chromosome, DNA, it is freely floating inside the, not freely, it is floating within the cytoplasm. Okay. Chromosome, DNA, cytoplasm float there. whereas nganzu gi DNA nganzu gi chromosome the karna yore nucleus ki nanglo yor cytoplasm nanglo yomara it is inside the nucleus is inside the cytoplasm okay seu chung so cytoplasm da nucleus chromosome parala nuclear membrane diorwa seu chung so prokaryotic da eukaryotic cells che ani prokaryotic cell nanglo la membrane bound organelles yomare seu chung so prokaryotic cells they do not contain membrane bound cell organelles prokaryotic ki cytoplasm nanglo la membrane bound organelles yo marila eukaryotic cell nanglo la membrane bound cell organelles yore tadi membrane bound the non membrane bound cell organelles na khala gore la wi mena membrane bound cell organelles la wi mena ta cell gi nanglo ya lega dam ma de chin ye wa cell gi nanglo lega manda chin ye gi yes sub chun ju yor tenzu la ngazu khala gre cell organelles ngazu subu nanglo la ngazu organism chigro ngazu subu nanglo la lega manda chinge organ manda to heart lungs kidneys right so we have all these different organs they are performing different functions just like that within a cell also they have got different organelles and organ chinjinde ngazu lega chinge prokaryotic cell nanglo la membrane bound organelles yomare whereas eukaryotic cells they have got membrane bound organelles ki example khar rela wimena endoplasmic reticulum golgi apparatus or golgi bodies lysosome mitochondria microbodies and vacuoles so they are all membrane bound organelles we will study about them in detail later on right chela jangarda ni prokaryotic cell nanglo la non membrane bound cell organelle chi gyoro di khare la wimena ribosomes prokaryotic cells they have got ribosomes and ribosomes they are non membrane bound organelle konzula chilo la membrane yomar plasma membrane diomar whereas endoplasmic reticulum the dige sama khare yore chilo la membrane yor kashila the double yore and chasha wimena mitochondria to wimena they have got double membrane the example they are called as membrane bound ribosome la membrane yomar la so prokaryotic cells they have got ribosomes but they don't have all these cell organelles within them the primitive so therefore they are called as prokaryotic old carrion love in the nucleus so eukaryotic also they have got true nucleus and eukaryotic now they have got all these membrane bound organelles and kesi plant cell do they have got something called plastids chloroplast here whereas animal cells they don't have chloroplast and animal cells they have got something called centrosomes non-membrane bound organelle called centrosome which help in cell division is it clear right that this here cell wall the animal cell cell ki basic structure cell wall che ti wala cell membrane che ti nalo cytoplasm che nucleus che and cytoplasm nalo organelles yores and the cells they come in various sizes and shapes cell ko size cheju manda manguper sobda manda yore cheju manda yore ni sobda da cheju manda yodu sambal ko lega ge manda chiwor they perform different activities is it clear now in your textbook this page no figure number 8.1 we have got red blood cells the red blood cells which whose shape is round and biconcave white blood cells amoeboid they don't have a definite shape they keep on changing shape right white blood cells and then we have got these epithelial cells columnar epithelial cells and then we have got nerve cells neurons you must have drawn neurons in your class 10 now neuron ki neurons they have got this elongated shape and then plant tracheate cell it is also elongated and then we have got plant cell now mesophyll cells round and oval shape manda doa chejunge manda doa so these are different types or different shapes of cells right and therefore they perform different functions is it clear penchashana ko information conduct it looks like a wire right wire now electricity in the nerve cells also information is passed in the form of electricity impulse passed on chiro lega la pawe ko sobda yor yamen ko sobda la pawe ko lega yor so form and function is it clear tiche penchashana neuron ge remove karsa par de thongdo and then we can see the photo of blood cells we have got different types of blood cells so here it's a human red blood cell this is white blood cell so you can see the cells right they have got different sizes and shapes right and if we talk about sizes the smallest cell now cell chungshu dikhar rahe mycoplasma shower they are only about 0.3 micrometers They are 0.3 micrometers in size. And then bacteria, they are about 3 to 5 micrometers in size. 10 to the power 6 la or the micrometers la yin baina kisi nganzu gi meter chik thumbu saya chik la ma ta yin baina thumbu chik ji kya saya chik la meter chik ta thumbu saya chik la ma ta wana di gi chashi chik jorwa di kare micrometer chik chadu or 10 to the power minus 6 meters. Okay, so bacteria, they are 3 to 5 micrometers, very very small. Konzu le chung asu yore microplasmas, they are much smaller than bacteria, 0.3 micrometers. Human RBC, they are much larger than bacteria and mycoplasma. They are about 7 micrometers in diameter. 7 micrometers. But it's still comparatively small. We cannot see with our naked eyes. We have to use microscope to see them. And then we have nerve cells, which are the longest cells within our body, right? And within animal kingdom, nerve cells you can try to Google what is the longest nerve cell. Nerve cell and the largest cell is egg of ostrich. Ostrich they are the largest cell in the animal kingdom. In the entire world, right? The largest cell. Egg ostrich the whale what about blue whale, right? What about blue whale? They might be having very large egg within their body. But here it says the egg of the ostrich is the largest cell. And the relationship form and function. Cell digela. Kisi cell gilega mana chigi yobi imbana roa. Koi lega la pawe kolan cell ki sobta yor. Sobta la pawe kolan lega yor. Tadi kharret. Proportional do chasa huni tewadi. Seuchungso. Tadi kanazu remu din alo kharte yor la imbana. Di a typical eukaryotic cell penetration. The animal cell chima chasha. The bacteria the huni ni compare chida. Bacteria pe chunju do. They are very small, right? Micrometer pe chunju na do. PBLO lash to PBLO lana azuda jel changrita prokaryotic cell na changdu sambar. They are very small, right? Mycoplasma the dodo chadu the maybe PBLO is a mycoplasma. We will see later on. Okay, about 0.1 micrometers, right? And we have viruses which are much smaller than all of them, right? 0.02 to 0.2 micrometers. Viruses now viruses, they are much smaller than any known cells. Okay, so these are the size differences. So cells, they come in different size and shape, and therefore they perform different functions within the organism's body.